I've always been taught the first step to dealing with a problem is admitting you've got a problem.
And what is for you good mental health?
Good mental health is a day when you can get up and think something and know that it's a bad thought.
So recognizing...
Recognition. Recognition and the first steps of addressing. Because no one expects you to fix yourself like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been taught the first step to dealing with a problem is admitting you've got a problem.
Well said.
And to be honest, as long as you're talking about it to someone who does give a fuck in some way, and whether that's about you or whether that's about, you know, the views you have or the cars you drive. Like I said, I know more about you than I do with people that I grew up with. And that's purely down to the fact that we talk. And I wouldn't say I ring you and I'm like, oh, I've had an argument with this person. Because I don't know about your day-to-day life, but we always have a habit of, even if it's a 5-minute phone call, just thought I'd check in on you, you know, what's going on with your head, are you cool? And I'll be like, yes or no.
Mm.
And so I think good mental health, a high majority of it is just recognition and expressing yourself, even if it sucks to say it.
Sometimes the most sorry to interrupt. Sometimes the most difficult part is just to say it first,
yeah,
and then it just flows.
Yeah, you know, it's always awkward. Even now, for me to speak about my mental health after 5 years of therapy, for me to just be like, oh yeah, dude, I'm having a really shit day, and not like, oh, I'm really busy, or this has gone wrong, or this has gone wrong. If I get up and my head is firmly in my ass, it's hard for me, even though I've been given all of these tools by therapists and all that sort of stuff, you know, it's super hard for you to come out and just say it. And there is some people that can just go, do you know what, I'm having an awful day. Please keep your distance and I'll let you know when it's safe to come near me, that sort of thing.
That's some really good and important boundaries,
yeah,
that people should have in their life. It helps.
Yeah. But I would 100% say the key to clean mental health or good mental health is start the argument with yourself and work out if you're having a good day or if you're having a bad day or if it's more than that. And as long as you're recognising that, yeah, I've had a bad day because I got fired, for instance, or I've had a bad week now but nothing bad's happened, I'm making things worse with my own head, those two things will feel very similar, but differentiating between one and the other is the key to it, I think. And this isn't coming from someone who's got great mental health, because I don't have bad mental health anymore, but, you know, I'm not waking up every day singing like Mary Poppins and singing at the birds and all, you know, it's not like that. Every day is a fight.
Just so, only in the shower.
Yeah, or on FaceTime. But yeah, you know, every day is a fight. And people always say, stay positive. And I think that's not always the best way to go, because you do have to see the shit side of things to realise how good things are sometimes.
Yeah, that helps.
You know, but definitely the recognition of I'm having an awful day. And when someone says, you're all right, mate, it doesn't necessarily mean pour your heart out to me. But it can be that you have your go-to people who you speak to stuff about, and it might just be a text, shit day today, mate, and that person will ring you or whatever. But yeah, definitely a problem shared is a problem halved.
Nice.
100%. Cool. And that's in any sort of venture of life. Any venture, you know, to discuss something, even if the person doesn't really have an input, but for you to just fucking vomit a load of words out and then they're like repeat it back to you from you hearing it from a different person structuring that sentence, or a slightly different view on the same thing, can sometimes just flick a switch. So yeah, I definitely think it's a case of talking to people. And
yeah, talking about whatever happens to us is in many cases as well, for me, a good guidance comes from just discussing the problem, even if the person didn't said much or nothing at all. Just me going out loud about this or that, whatever that's happening, often would bring some sort of a resolution to whatever's going on.
And you know, sometimes you can say a sentence in your head and you think, fuck yeah, I'm right. And then I can open my mouth and I can say the exact same sentence and I get halfway through and I go, I'm not right. And it's this, you know, the voice in your head, one of many, the voice in your head is still saying the same thing and your thoughts on it are still saying the same thing, but it's the bridge of passing it on to another person. You can be like, actually, that's completely outrageous that I'm thinking this way or whatever, you know, by actually hearing it. So yeah, I definitely agree with what you said, and that it is discussion. People don't know there's a problem unless you tell them, until the problem becomes visible. And when the problem becomes visible, then you're twice as deep into the problem. You know, it's a hell of a lot easier. It might not feel it, but it's a hell of a lot easier to sort a problem at the source or closer to the source than to let a problem run away with itself. Yeah, and just, I don't know, talk to people. If you haven't got people to talk to, there's at least one person on the camera, if not two, who would be happy to. Don't get me wrong, you ring me at 3 a.m, I'm like, what the fuck have you broken? And then you're like, I've not broken anything, I just need to talk. Cool. I'll ring you back in a minute. Just let me make a coffee and get a cigarette, and then we'll talk. But yeah, I just think that discussing things really, really helps, because it opens you up to, like I said, different opinions and views on the same shit. And it might just be that you're not seeing something for what it is, or you're reading a text message wrong. Text messages and emails and Facebook comments and all of that shit is the worst, because there's no tone.
Yeah, you know, that's true. No.
And you can be absolutely beating yourself up, and I could read something that you've put on Facebook and I'm like, bro, I can't believe you fucking said this about me. You know what I mean? I could be really upset and I ring you and you're like, what are you on about? I'm like, you said blah, 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 blah. But then you say, no, what I said is, and I hear the tone in your voice and it completely changes the thing. So conversation is key, and discussion, and, you know,
communication about emotions and the mental states we are in.
Yeah.
Because in many cases, in a case like that, we just feel where stuff starts going wrong, we feel alone with the problem. We feel that we don't want to be bothering someone else. And for that reason, often we don't, potentially. And it's kind of same for me. If somebody is reaching out and they need some help, I'm more than happy to help, because I know that at some point I've received that sort of help of someone, and I know that that is appreciated, and I appreciate what I was given, and if I can forward it to somebody else, that's making the world a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't really cool with mental health till I'd been through my therapy, and after that I realised that I was cool with it, but I didn't know how I felt. I just felt some kind of shit going on, and I'd identify it as angry or hungry or tired, and you get given a particular tool set from a therapist that is essentially, it sort of tells you how to rethink what you're actually thinking. But by discussing things with people, you find that a therapist is just telling you simply what you're thinking, and it's what you're thinking. It's just the angle you're looking at it. So, I'm not saying everybody that's having a bad day, you need to go to therapy and stuff, but just communicate with people. And it could even be that, the local corner shop that you go in, and the bird behind the cat, "You all right, love?" She's really chatty. And when she says "you all right," you just go, "No, actually, I'm having a bit of a shit day." So it's, "Oh, cheer up," or just a small exchange. But that can help you build up to next time you see her, I'm actually having a really good day today. And then all of a sudden you're in this habit of talking about your feelings. And just by expressing yourself, I even talk to myself in the mirror. I'm like, "You look like shit today. You've got loads of work to do. Just tuck your shirt in, make yourself look presentable, and you'll figure the day out as it comes." Or, "You look really good today. Go and smash it." And just that bit of reassurance, it sounds so cheesy and corny, but actually speaking about how you're feeling as opposed to just feeling grim.
Yeah. Any sort of positive affirmations, in my opinion, are a good thing. If people are out, sometimes put it on for the night, or other times if it's a list made by me and repeated, and kind of something I'm working on, I can see that it's got a positive influence on me.
Yeah, it's weird because you find your own way to deal with things, and you think, "Do you know what, it's fine, I've dealt with that problem," and then tomorrow a different problem comes up, but you've not only got the stress from day two's problem, you've got the stress from day one's problem, and you get yourself ground down into this bullshit of you're just in this circle of feeling crap. But I definitely think conversation is king with that. Discussion of some description. Even if you write down a note in the morning and then you come back and you read it in an evening, and you're like, "What an arsehole I was." But it's still expressing yourself, even if it is to yourself,
From things like that, because I know that many people that are involved in self-development do recommend having a journal and things like that. I like writing my gratitude list.
Okay, what's a gratitude list?
Randomly, it can be daily, it can be multiple times per day or once a month. I'll sit down, I get a notepad, and I'll write down what I'm grateful for. Sometimes I start with
BMWs.
Well, actually, a bit more humble. Food and roof over my head.
Yeah.
Passion or people around me. All of the things that are happening to me. Because the more grateful you are for something that went wrong, the more you can feel better about it that it went wrong. The more I'm focusing on positive things that I'm grateful for, the less I'm thinking about all of the negatives that are kind of setting me off in this or that direction. So to avoid depression, I'll write it down. I can always come back to it. Oh yeah, I had this day. Oh, I was grateful for this.
Yeah.
And it's from all sort of things. Today I could be grateful for packing up, getting things sorted out for the van, having you come over, spend time with me, record it, having food and possibility to travel, having a dog that I'm picking up here and taking back to Spain.
And having a warm day, the day after tomorrow. You bastard. But it's and do you know what? That's something that I've never even thought about as a. I suppose we're very privileged, aren't we? Really. Mm-hmm. And there is always someone that's having a worse day than you.
Yeah.
Even if you're at your lowest low, there's always something worse going on. But it's not the end of the world, and it may seem like the end of the world. And I think this is why people sort of get wrapped up in it, because it's your worst day up to that point, but tomorrow could be your best day up to that point. It's all peaks
your
and
last
troughs.
day.
Yeah, and that's another thing. However many years we're on this planet for, why be fucking miserable? And I know it's a battle, but from someone who didn't even realise he was miserable, it's worth having a crack at it. And even if you're really struggling, it's still worth having a crack at it, because you've got nothing to lose.
If you know you're on the bottom, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you know that the only way is up.
And you get a hunger, because every day isn't going to be good. Say you have a good 6 months, you've cleared of an addiction or whatever it is that's been dragging you down, and then you relapse and you feel like shit, and then you think, fuck, yesterday I was so fucking happy, what was I doing different? And you know that something's changed from yesterday to today, so you know exactly what the issue is. So you get that hunger back to have a better day. And it just becomes life. It doesn't become, although the struggle's still there, you still got to get up, you still got to put a face on, you still got to do this, do that, deal with whatever's going through your head. It becomes part of your routine.
Yeah, the more self-development you do, the more of it you see in your own behavior in life as it goes. And like you were saying, the sooner you can recognize making a mistake, doing something that's destructive, you can basically stop yourself at the moment where you're starting to feel sad, kind of reevaluate, why am I feeling like that, what's influencing me. And sometimes you can turn it around and be like, actually, no, I can make something positive. I can start thinking in a different way about the subject, and make a good day out of it.
Yeah, it is really good, because at the end of the day, it's only you who can really change how you feel. So when you have a good day, at the end of that day, not only have you felt good all day, or a majority of the day, you think, fucking hell, you did really well today. And you might not say those words in your head, but you know that you've had a good day, because you'll get into bed and that thing that usually annoys you isn't annoying you. And it's small stuff like that that you'll notice starts to happen more. And then if you keep an eye on those things, the things that annoy you a little bit, you'll notice that they start picking back up again. So you can re-look into what's going on, and try and tweak whatever's going on. And eat fucking healthy. I'm the worst. I don't eat healthy. And I know we're talking about vegans and veggies and stuff before. I don't care what you eat. Eat decent meals.
Yeah, it's important. Get some fully deserved rest.
Yeah.
Although, again, I'm here in the same situation. I shouldn't be saying much
Yeah.
because I don't always, but I do try my best, kind of to get on top of it. I've
And
changed my
rest
diet.
isn't sleeping. That's the thing that I didn't realise. Rest isn't necessarily sleeping. Just have 10 minutes. Just get comfy for 10 minutes. And you'll find that you're refreshed. It's...
But for a 10 minute, because I'm a guy that loves snoozing, so like
10 minutes is an hour.
Lunch break. I had 45 minutes. If I was absolutely knackered after a night out or in the workshop, I would go put my head down for a half hour, and it kind of gave me the little boost.
Yeah.
But about 10 minutes things, I would rather try to do like mindfulness meditation.
Yeah.
Not sure if you ever tried it.
Nope.
Basically, you can put yourself a video or 10 minute narrated clip, which basically tells you, okay, relax, realize and feel how your feet are feeling. You basically check in with your body, where you are, how does it feel, what sort of emotions are going through your body, and that allows you to distance yourself from the situation you are currently in and take actual like rest.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I do always is set the alarm like half hour later after it's supposed to finish, just in case I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
Happened before. You're not meant to go to sleep when you meditate.
Yeah.
Hey ho.
Yeah. It's part of it. But yeah, the diet thing, and there is nothing worse. You sat on the sofa and you think, oh, I've got pizzas in. And you just throw 2 pizzas in. And by the end of it, and McDonald's.
Nah.
It may be okay for a little bit of an ice cream or whatever, but living off it, oh. As soon as you start getting decent food and regular food, that's how our body is designed to run. So eat that. You know, I'm the worst for energy drinks and the worst for cigarettes. I punish my body so fucking much. But I've sort of, because I used to just eat once a day. I just get up, be angry all day, eat tea, go to bed. And rinse and repeat. I'd be like, I'll just get a takeaway on the way home. I can't be bothered. I haven't got time to eat. I don't really fancy anything, or, you know, I'd find an excuse to not eat through the day. Excuse me. And
How dare you?
some of us have been working all day, Woocash.
Oh, is that how it's gonna be now?
Yeah. I've got to pay for a fucking turbo build.
Skyven where?
Yeah. So, as soon as you get your food even semi in check, going from 1 meal a day to 2 meals a day has literally made the difference for me. And thinking about whatever you're thinking about from a slightly different perspective, or even thinking from the same perspective, but instead of being sat in your front room on your phone, go out for a walk. Breathe in fresh air. Try and be as human as you can. And you'll find...
In the world full of aliens.
Yeah. But, you know, being a traditional Homo sapien, like, get outdoors, get some fresh air. The first thing that happens when you get fresh air, or like sea breeze air, you'll be fucked, you'll want to sleep. So you do go for a nice walk, if you can, and then sleep. And then you wake up and you feel refreshed.
And you got your gaffer in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you sleeping on the job?
But that instantly then reduces you from 90% irate. If you get a good night's sleep, that takes you down to 85% irate. So it's going to take me 5% more to make you flip. or to make you lose your shit, or to make you, whatever this percent meter is, each time you try and aim for a healthy body or a healthy mindset, it reduces that level. So it takes a lot more for you to get worked up. So you can actually handle more before you lose your shit.
Yep. Well, generally, when you're hungry, you're kind of pissed off and angry. Once you're gonna get some food, you're good.
Yeah, so just try and... I think it's about getting an all-round healthier lifestyle, whether that's sleep behaviour, eating, personal hygiene's a massive one. If you're having a hard time thinking about something, go and have a shower and come back to it. Or think in the shower. I fucking love thinking in the shower. Because then you just get sort of stressy and you're like, oh, I'm washing my hair, I'm washing all my big biceps. And it sort of sidetracks you in a very similar way to working on cars. When you've got something going on with your head and you physically have to do something in a steps A, B and C, you might get a little bit of a thought in between, but it gives you a break from your own head when you're actually having to do something. So wash, eat, exercise, just about trying to be as healthy as you can, I think.
It's so weird for me or people like me to sit 10, 15, 20 years later and keep telling them, yeah, you should be you should be healthy.
Yeah.
But end of the day, 2-3 years ago, probably partly due to my diet, the amount of stress, the amount of use of my body, bad food, energy drinks and whatever else, I've ended up in the hospital. And after that it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna change that or I'm gonna be back in the hospital in a minute. And that's kind of a choice that you need to make at the time. Like,
yeah, it's the same sort of theory as if your house is an absolute mess, don't start tidying it all. Just chip away at little bits.
I thought you were gonna say chuck a Molotov cocktail and walk away.
And walk off with a cigar in slow motion. But just clean your bedside table. Takes 5 minutes. And then when you come home, you get your phone out and you go, wallet out, change out. And you're like, yeah, my stuff's there. And then just, instead of the washing basket being piled this high over the top, just throw a wash in for the top bit. Don't worry about the rest of it. Just do one wash. And small steps of stuff like that is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. Because everything's so daunting. If you think, oh, I've got to clean the house top to bottom this weekend, you don't. Just do like half an hour every night.
Yeah, but if you, like you're saying, if you put it down and dissect it into smaller sections, it's so much more digestible than the whole big task. Same like if you build something, if it's a car, or if you at least doing the cleaning, okay, first let's do this and this on the house, on the car, and then rest is on the list.
You build a Le Mans car in one step. From start to finish, I give you a car and all the parts to build a Le Mans car, or, a top spec drift car or whatever, and I want you to do everything all in one hit. You're like, fuck that. Who do you think I am? But if I give you a garage and I give you a car and all the tools you need and all the parts you need, and be like, mate, it's done when it's done. You just go in, you finish work, you think, oh, fuck it, I'll do an hour tonight. You might fit some over fenders or fit this or fit that or whatever. And it's all about taking your time, but recognising that you're taking your time for a reason. You're not delaying it, you're just attacking it in little chunks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's a key to it.
It helps. It helps because I know how many times I would get overwhelmed with certain things that I need to deal with, and the next thing you start having a panic attack because how, where, and this and that and so much, and I don't know where to start. So and ended up stressing about it instead of doing anything that's gonna get me forward.
That's not the way that I go. I go, fuck, there's a lot on here. I'll just do something else.
Yeah.
And which is a calmer way, in my opinion, than what you just described, but just as destructive. Because you're not getting it done either way.
Yeah.
However you handled it, or however
but
I
you do
handled
something else as a way of procrastinating.
ignoring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've had to learn to deal with that because I've got 1,000,001 things to do, and they're all just little jobs. But it's like, oh, I'll deal with it whenever or whatever. So, yeah, it's... And also another thing as well that is sort of mental healthy related. If you know something is going to happen, or you're getting anxious about something happening, and I know it's easy for me to say this, worrying about it doesn't change the outcome. So if I know, for instance, if I've got a court date in a week's time,
You're a criminal.
I'm a criminal. In that week, me getting up every day and worrying myself to death doesn't change what the judge thinks. And I'm not saying go around being cocky, I don't care about anything, nothing phases me. But worrying and being upset, physically upset, doesn't change the outcome of anything, really. And it's a lot easier to think of a valid solution or a way of dealing with things when you're in a state where you're not as worked up as you really should be at that time. So that's something. I don't really know how I got myself to that stage of realisation. And
you just realised it one day.
It was just sort of a fuck it. Being worried and upset and crying about stuff doesn't change anything. Because it doesn't. It helps you deal with things sometimes. But for an extended period of time, it just makes you feel worse about the thing that is inevitably going to happen anyway. The signal from my brain that tries to help me explain it sounds like I'm just saying, pull your socks up. But it's small bites. Do bits and bobs. And whether that's in your physical health or your mental health, your lifestyle, I'm not saying, right, well, you need to get fit, you need to start doing a marathon every month. At least twice a week, 2 marathons a week. That sort of thing doesn't happen, and it's a really, really massive goal. But if I said, dude, tomorrow, instead of driving to Asda, you're only going to get a sandwich, walk. Because then when you're walking, you have time to think about things and to go through your little emotions and work out what's going on. But yeah, it's definitely...
We are not responsible for anything that related to that. Make your own decisions.
Yeah, don't be walking to Asda, especially if there's not an Asda nearby and you're like, well, that guy on that podcast said I need to walk to Asda and it's 16 miles away, but I'm going to walk to it.
I would walk 500.
But yeah, communication, small steps. And then all of a sudden, you're doing all these small steps and you look back and you're like, fuck. Your issues are still there, but they've just been dealt with in a different, more manageable way.
But for the main part, I wanted to say thank you.
No problem,
for finding the time, for coming for a chat, opening up. I know that often it's not easy, especially in front of all of those millions of viewers.
And the bloke sat in the corner over there. It's... Even if I've made you feel different about yourself in the slightest way, and you might have an awful day, and then something will just go, Ross said don't worry about shit until you actually have to worry about it. As long as at some point in your life it's become positive, it's worth it. And if your BAFTA award-winning podcast blows up and I influence millions and millions of people, and it helps just a little bit, it's worth sometimes opening up your previous wounds a tiny bit to give a bit of blood to people that sort of need it, if that makes sense. So it's a pleasure to talk about anything really with you. It's good to see you back on terra firma, even if it is only for like 3 days. But yeah, and people need to talk about shit with other people. It's not just...
True.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Speak to people. Whoever the people may be, just speak to them, I think. And BMW best car.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Hoping to see you
in Spain with a turboed car.
Yeah, that just like you're saying. So, and when are we gonna have this date set up for?
March next year, isn't it?
Okay. I was thinking it was just sorting out the car first, but okay, March next year. So March 2024. We see in.
We're gonna come in Valencia. Hydro on, full on. They'll be like, who's this English guy? I'll be like, I'm here to see Woocash.
And they will know who to call.
Yeah. Crazy Polish guy that lives on the hill. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah. You just go there. Then you'll see the black marks.
Yeah.
Follow them.
Do you mean the guy who drives on the wrong side of the car? Yeah, him. Yeah, that guy.
Well, actually saying that's left-hand drive.
Yeah?
For a reason. Okay, sorry. Most of my cars are right-hand drive, actually.
There you go. But yeah, it is a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. And twice in one visit. We saw you...
I know, because we went to check out the lovely, gorgeous, absolutely breathtaking Northern Lights. Anybody who'd like to go and experience that, I can recommend not to go to a place which will be rainy, cloudy and foggy.
No, the headlights lit up the fog, and if you squinted, we nearly saw the Northern Lights.
Yeah, nearly.
We saw the moon. That's pretty good for Buxton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Although I've seen guys posting some photos from Anglesey. Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that you can see that in such a beautiful way, apart from like Scandinavia and places like that.
I've got quite a few friends in the Lake District, and it's just like perfect sky with all the pink and green and all that shit going on. So yeah, but to see you twice in one trip is incredible. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Glad we did it.
Yeah.
Again,
we're gonna have another. Yeah. You've got to put explosions over the top of that.
And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care of yourself, and remember, it's okay not to be okay, but there are ways how to get better.